This is the topic where a lot of you have questions and where most people I meet, most of my clients ask questions, and that is, when can I get back to working out and how should I be doing it? So that's what I'm going to be answering today. Hi guys, and welcome back to the Strong Mom Project and my channel Joyful Living. My name is Linda and I'm a personal trainer and a certified mama tummy trainer. So I hope that I will give you some great insight into this field of working out and that I love and that I love to share about. This is why I started this channel, mostly because I want to reach out with mindfulness and working out, how to get in shape after pregnancy, and just like general healthy living and how to build a strong mind and a strong body. That's what the channel is all about. It's not just for moms, it's for everyone pretty much that want to get a strong mind and a strong body. So let's get into the topic of today, which is how to get back to working out after a pregnancy. Because it's not just about getting back exactly to where you were before because you've had a child. For example, when you break a leg, you oftentimes go through physical therapy, or if you break your arm, or if you go through a certain type of surgery, you oftentimes get to go through physical therapy. This, however, is not the case for moms who have given birth, which is really sad that that's the case, because it takes a long time to get back to the body. Not a long time, but it takes time to get back to the body you used to have. And sometimes you might not get back to that body depending on what your pregnancy was like and what the birth was like, etc., and how you handle your body afterwards. So, with this said, physical therapy should actually be something that moms get access to after giving birth, because there are so many questions, and at least here in Sweden, like the aftercare, the after pregnancy care could have been better, because a lot of moms get different type of information depending on where they're living, depending on what type of education their midwife has or the doctor have. So that's kind of sad, and that's the reality for us women. I've been through it, and that's also why I'm so passionate about sharing this, because I want women to get good information about this and not feel lost and just crazy from getting all this information that's not the same from anyone, because it depends on what their education is. So I decided to educate myself in this and become a certified mommy trainer, because I want to know like the latest research, I want to know what's happening in this field, and I want to know how to help other women. So here we are. There are kind of differences between if you've had your child through C-section or just a natural vaginal birth, because when you've had a C-section, that's actually a surgery, so you're not allowed to carry more weight than the weight of your own child for the first few, often 6 to 8 weeks is like the normal number that you hear. And that depends on how you're healing, how you're feeling, etc. So it's, as everything, different from woman to woman. So the first like 6 to 8 weeks, that's a good guideline. You should not be carrying anything heavier than your child. You can take regular walks, that's just fine. And be sure that you just listen to your body, and if things are feeling all right when you walk, if your pelvic floor is feeling okay, if your scar is feeling all right. But if you've given natural birth, it's a little bit different. You're allowed to carry a little bit heavier, But that said, you should be careful as well. I think that most women benefit from actually following this 6 to 8 week guideline and don't do any regular exercise until after, especially after you've been on the checkup with your midwife or doctor, which is approximately about 8 weeks for most women. They check your pelvic floor often, and that's different depending on where you're at and what country and what region, etc. But they check if your pelvic floor is doing all right, and you can ask questions, and then they just talk about how to go forward. But most midwives and doctors, especially here in Sweden, they don't even have training or education in how to work out after pregnancy, because that wasn't part of their university degree or whatever it's called in the US or England, or but there's good information to find, and more coming along, because women have not been on the we haven't been prioritized, and our health has not been prioritized before, but now it's starting to be more and more prioritized. So we're seeing more and more development and more research in this field. So generally speaking here, walks are perfectly fine the first 6 to 8 weeks, or before that even. Pelvic floor exercises are really important. You can do those from start. I've had a video about that, and I'll link that in below. You could also check your diastasis. That is the gap between your muscles in the stomach. If you want to, I have a video on that as well in the description. Other than that, let's talk about the exercise part. What can you do after you've given birth? Well, right after, as I said, walks are just fine, pelvic floor exercises are just fine. However, stomach exercises or like ab exercises, that's something to be careful about. I've shown a few exercises that are really good to do right after birth in the diastasis video, so check that out. That's completely safe to do, and that's a way to strengthen your abs in a really good way at first before you start doing heavier things or more complex things. A lot of women want to start running after they've given birth, and I always ask them, why do you want to start running? Well, I want to lose my weight. I want to lose that baby weight, those baby pounds. And I tell them that there are so many other ways of doing it, because running is really good. Don't get me wrong, it's really good in so many ways. But when you've given birth, when you've carried a child, you've put a lot of weight on your pelvic floor, and when you start running, every step you take has a great impact on the pelvic floor. So it's about 3 times your body weight every time you put your floor down on the ground. That's about 3 times your body weight when you run. That said, a lot of pressure is going to go up on your pelvic floor or down on your pelvic floor. I mean, and actually, if that's not strong, you're going to weaken it even more because it gets too much pressure on it. So I really want you to be aware of this. Some of you might have been running all along, all through pregnancy. You know your body's best. But the general guideline that I want to give you is that if you start running, you put 3 times your body weight's pressure on your pelvic floor. So I would be really careful with that for at least the first 6 months. Okay? And that's for your sake. That's because I don't want you to in the long run suffer from prolapse or urinary incontinence or anything like that, because that's like that's what's happening in the long run. You might not see anything like this in the short term, because you might not feel anything in the short term, but in the long term that's what could happen. And I would rather do safe exercises with my clients or with you guys, because I don't want to risk anything. Why risk something lifelong when you can do something safe right here, right now? So that's what I want to give you. Just keep that in mind. Maybe you're running to lose that weight. There are better ways. You can think about your diet first and foremost, because about 80% of losing weight comes with diet and hormones, etc. Make sure you sleep enough, because that regulates your hormones and your hunger. I know that's really, really hard when you have a baby. So I'm not saying it's easy, I'm not saying it's possible for you, I'm just saying sleeping is really, really positive for weight loss. And also strength training. It doesn't have to be going to the gym lifting heavy weights, definitely not. You can have a rubber band or a suspension trainer or mini bands or Bodyweight or a TRX. Those are great things to use, because you don't need a whole lot more than your body weight, especially not in the beginning. We're not going to put weight on you until after a few months. Body weight exercises you can do, for example, you can do hip thrusts. Make sure you squeeze your pelvic floor and then your butt at the top. I'm going to show you these exercises in another video, but hip thrusts are just fine. Squats are fine, but be aware of not going too deep. Be sure that you can actually control your pelvic floor. Don't go any deeper than what you can control. If you feel any pain or discomfort in any exercises you do, make sure you stop, because pain or discomfort should not be in this picture. And also you can do standing push-ups, like against a wall, because that doesn't put a lot of strain on your abdominal muscles, so that's fine. You can do side planks on your knee, but don't do regular planks at all, not in the beginning, because that's going to put a lot of pressure on your abdominal muscles and your pelvic floor, and you need to strengthen that before you do anything else. So no planks, no sit-ups. Be aware of this. Don't do planks, don't do sit-ups. Don't do anything that really puts pressure on your abdominal muscles in the beginning. And that is because I want you to heal properly. I want you to think in long-term goals, not in the short term. Oh, I want to get back to that nice looking belly without any fat on it, or whatever that might be. That's just what I hear mostly. I want you to feel strong. I want you to build a strong base, because if you don't have that strong base when you go on to do heavier exercises, you're not going to be able to develop and get better in that area. So hip thrusts, squats, you can do push-ups on a wall. You can do side planks on your knee. Always be sure of your pelvic floor. You can do certain rowing motions with your rubber band. A lot of things that I'm going to show you has to do with strengthening your back, strengthening your butt. But I'm not going to go into any great detail on what exactly to work out or what type of workouts right now. I'm just telling you the basics of like walking, strengthening your pelvic floor, what not to do, and also a few exercises if you feel like you want to get started. And the next video is going to be showing you more how to do these and what a little program that is safe for you to do and something that most moms need after giving birth, because the same thing happens to most of us. The way our posture changes, the way we move, the way our body is getting bigger and our butt is getting deactivated. So yeah, I'm gonna show that in the next video, but just the simple things you can do is go for walks. That's gonna take you a long way because it's gonna help you strengthen your pelvic floor. It's gonna help you get that blood flowing. It's gonna help you when you sit hunched over and feed your baby. That's gonna help you create a better posture. So something also to keep in mind is that actually think about your posture in your everyday life. Roll those shoulders back, straighten your back, and draw in that belly button once in a while to just get that proud posture, because it's very easy to get into this position when you have a little baby that you carry in front of you, you have the stroller in front of you, you feed in front of you, everything happens in front of you, so it's really easy to get this hunched over look. But just straighten up like that and make sure you do that daily, several times a day, because what you do in the everyday life matters more than what you do once in a while. That's everything from me, guys. I hope you found this helpful, and I will give you in the next video of this Strong Mom project, I will give you a few exercises that you can start with and that I will show on video, and also a smaller exercise program that are beneficial for most women after giving birth. If you have any questions about working out, if you have any questions about what's to come in this project, please ask them below. I'm happy to answer them either in the comments or just when in the next video or the next 2 videos. So I hope you have a great day, and I hope you recover nicely from your pregnancy if you just had one. I hope you find this information helpful if you're about to start this journey or if you know someone. And so let me know what you think and what you want to know going forward. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!